So limited today were Jair, Elton, Aaron Jones, Luke Musgrave, Yash, and Rudy Ford.
What happened to Rudy?
He's dealing with a calf.
You've had obviously longer injury reports this year. Obviously you're in fairly decent shape now. Is there something to, I mean, A, is there an explanation for it, and B, is there something to, you play enough games and eventually those guys' bodies get hardened up to it to some extent?
I think every case is a little bit different. Certainly, we've been dealing with a lot of soft tissue issues that we've been taking a deep dive into and into why are they happening and just looking at our overall volume and whatnot. But I think you got to just look at each one individually just this time of year.
Have you found anything from that deep dive that you can share? Because on one hand, it's football. Like,
yeah,
people get
no, yeah, absolutely, and I think we've got some ideas. I'm not really willing to share all of them as of yet. Maybe someday.
Is hamstring your injury of du jour or whatever this year? You know, sometimes they come in bunches, and is that kind of what you're looking at a little bit?
Yeah, we've had a lot of them, so it's been an issue for sure.
Christian's a receiver that ideally he can catch the football with some separation, kind of turn on the speed, make plays after. But how do you teach a young guy when that's the right tack to approach the football in air, and when he's got to use that big frame he's got to? How do you coach a young guy with that?
I think just depends. Where's the defender? What type of ball is it? We're always trying to preach and coach and drill being aggressive with your hands, attacking the football, but every instance is a little bit different. Is it a high ball? Is it a low ball? Is the defender in front of you, behind you, on your side? So I would say every instance is a little bit different.
Is there a ball that, by rule, if it's this kind of ball, you want to use the frame and be aggressive toward it? Is this kind of ball?
Well, we always want to be aggressive. That's the one thing I would tell you is we always want these guys to go attack aggressively with their hands the football. That's the best way to. I mean, it's that mentality that when it's in the air, it's my ball or nobody's. You want to beat the defender to the spot. And the more you can catch it away from your body, usually you can keep it away from the defender. But not every ball is, that's not realistic. You know, if some balls are low or below your belly button, you're going to have to use your body to corral the football. But yeah, every case is a little bit different.
That filling pads yesterday was a little different, right? Than what you normally do. What else have you guys changed up this week?
Just implemented some more competition periods within practice where you got that are unscripted, and I think that's been a good change just to increase the intensity level. Obviously, when guys are just going out there executing a call, there's no cards, so you're not trying to like doctor up looks, if you will. It's just playing football, just like you do throughout OTAs, training camp, obviously in game. Get some more good on good, just that speed, I should say.
Dr. Watson, how have you evaluated his performance? Do you feel like there's a lot more that he could be doing here in the last 10 games that could really help you guys?
Yeah, I think, just obviously we need to get him going. We haven't really got him going a whole bunch for whatever reason, and there's a long list of that. But yeah, it'd be nice to get him some balls where he can catch and run and showcase that speed.
He's seeing a lot more attention from what you've seen on film from different defenses than he did in the first
No,
year.
I think when you look at our tape, I think you see a lot more soft zone coverage, and they're going to make you find the holes in the defense. And I think that we've got to earn the right to be able to throw the ball down the field, and where it's premier looks. I mean, yeah, you can just drop back, chuck it deep, but it might not be a great probability for that to be a completion. Obviously, you want to get it versus specific looks, and I think you got to earn the right to do that.
Is that zone coverage stuff? Steno was talking a little bit about it last week. Is that a little bit harder for young players to, as opposed to this guy's guarding me, I got to beat him, right? Is it a little different for zones of finding where to sit down? And is that a process of improving or not?
Yeah, it just depends. What type of zone is it? Is it 2 deep, 3 deep? Is it a matchy zone? There's all sorts of different defenses out there, and we got to continue to try to get the right plays called versus what each zone cover or each coverage has a beater to it, right? And it's important for us to dial up those beaters versus the specific looks, and then when we have them, we have to make them automatic. And I would say it's a combination of a lot of things why we haven't been.
Why the change in the pads/no pads days? Is that just to shake things up? And also, I mean, you've had a lot of success with the way you've done things over the years. Is that it?
Yeah, every team's a little bit different. I think it's more of a feel thing, and yeah, you're trying to find anything to get us going. So I think it's just kind of a feel for where we're at, and that might change next week. Who knows? It just could be a week by week basis in terms of what we're going to do, whether it's Wednesday, whether it's Thursday. So it just kind of going to go with trust my gut, I guess.
What's the feel there? I don't know if this is state secrets, but what's the feel? Was that due to give you that padded practice on a Wednesday and going early in the week?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is how do you come out of games? How physical was the game? What does your injury report look like? Because I would say the negative to going on Wednesdays with pads is a lot of guys' bodies aren't completely recovered from Sunday. And so that's why you move it to Thursday. But it just depends how you come out of every game in terms of where you're at. And certainly you can do some things, even if guys aren't fully healed, you can limit players. I mean, we do that all the time. But you just want to, I don't know, it's a kind of a feel thing.
Do young guys heal faster from the usual rigors of playing a game? Is that a byproduct of that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm not a doctor.
Matt, I know these questions are tough to answer because time has elapsed and you got a lot of stuff on your plate, but I'm wondering, when you look back to training camp, was there a point where you saw, you were like, oh my God, we might have something at Valentine, or maybe it was during the off-season program? I mean, it looked like he had a pretty good camp for a rookie 7th round pick, but was there a moment where you kind of noticed, hey, this guy we might have found something here?
Yeah, I think going back and then, especially when you had some of the competitive practices versus like Cincinnati, and then you watch how he performed in those preseason games. I think that's kind of where we always liked his movement skills and the skill set he possesses. And like I've said before, just the way he approaches the game, and he's very coachable, and he seems to be a really resilient guy, which is obviously very important for that position or any position. But I think it's more or less, yeah, throughout the course of the preseason in those games and then in some of those practices.
Matt, what kind of strides have you seen from TJ so far this season, and just how do you think a game like Sunday can kind of help him as he's getting to be more cemented in that starting lineup?
Yeah, TJ's done a great job. I think he's been a force, especially in the run game, obviously. He's a big man that can move. And, he's done a great job when he's been in there and making splash plays and just really doing his job. That's important for all these guys. You want to have a great defense, everybody's going to do their job, and they're going to do it at a high level, and I think he's been able to do that.
Matt, going all the way back also to training camp, was it more important for Jordan to play within the system than to do, off-schedule stuff? Were you trying to get him more to do that? Would you say, looking back, that was more of the plan, or did you treat it, whatever happens, get out of the pocket and do it?
Yeah, I think it's always a feel thing. I'm not going to you don't want these guys to be robots. I do think, and I've said this a million times, fundamentals, the timing, the footwork is like the basis of good quarterback play. So you are training that, you're drilling that all the time, and that's why I'm not a big believer in 7-on-7, because it does present an unrealistic look for the quarterback in terms of he never has to feel what's going on around him. And I do think there's a lot of feel to the game, to that position in particular, in terms of when do I need to slide to create a little bit more room, kind of making very deliberate movements within the pocket. When do I need to slide up, slide to the side, back, whatever it may be, or get out of the pocket and escape. So when you get in those team situations, I would say you take every rep for what it is. And the drill work is where you coach them to be absolutely perfect with the footwork, with the timing. When you're doing routes on air, there's a lot of time that's put into those situations. But when you get out there in 11 on 11, you got to coach each play for what it is.
Did you find, when through your years, when you have a young quarterback, that they bail out of the pocket faster than a veteran might, just because maybe the panic factor? And to lead through that, it doesn't seem like Jordan bails out of the pocket really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think every guy's a little bit different, I think just the one thing I would tell you that I think that comes with experience is just when the pocket gets a little bit muddy, it's either how do I get out of it or where's my check down? And I think you guys saw a great example of that a week ago, because there were many times when we got pressure on Kirk and he was able to, right before the rush was about to hit him, he was hitting these checkdowns and they were coming up big for him. So I do think there's a little bit of feel for that, and just I think that comes with experience.
Two more, please.
Matt, if you don't mind another follow-up to the thing with your brother being on the other sideline, how do your parents handle that? Like, do they each pick one team to root for, or like how do they
Well, since they're living in Green Bay, they better be rooting for the Packers. No, I mean, they always, they try to stay impartial as best they can. But like I said, they're living in Green Bay. I happen to get them a house, so they better root for us.
It's in the water here.
Huh?
It's in the water here.
No doubt about it.